Autobots. Autobots. Roll out. Can't get it deep enough. Autobots, roll out. Hi, and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original animated series, Earthrise, which is second part to the trilogy called War of Cybertron. The Allspark gone, Megatron is forced to confront the harsh reality that the Decepticons are trapped on a dying Cybertron, while also fighting off the persistent threat of Elita 1 and her Autobots. Meanwhile, lost in space, Optimus Prime and his team embark on a desperate mission. So there are 6 episodes, 24 minutes apiece, about 20 minutes without the credits and the intro, and I have to say I was much more entertained by this season. I know a lot of people really enjoyed the first one. It took me by surprise, and it wasn't doing quite what I wanted. The animation took me a bit by surprise. This time I knew what to expect, and I really feel like the flow of the storyline will keep you engaged much more. For me personally, I preferred this one. Not that I didn't love the first one, I did enjoy it, I just didn't love it as much as I expected to, and there were some things that irked me a bit in season 1. This time the story is definitely concentrating on those characters that we know and love. Megatron and Optimus are a very big part of this storyline. Without going into spoilers, you'll see it from the trailer, but obviously these guys are like part and parcel when it comes to Transformers, to the main names apart from Bumblebee and some of the others that you may think of when you've seen other incarnations, other animated storylines. There's been so many recently, but there are so many. But when it comes to the names in Transformers, it's Megatron and Optimus, and I feel like without them you wouldn't really have Transformers, and so to see them being dealt with more in this series, I was really happy with. I felt like in season 1 Megatron's character is one of the weakest ones for me. Not that I didn't like him, but I just felt like they needed to flesh his character out a lot more, and you get that. You really get, it reminded me a little bit of Heat. We have Al Pacino and they're sitting at the table, and there's that really famous moment where they're sitting at the table, they have that conversation, so they're like frenemies, and they understand what they're about to do, but without each other they wouldn't be who they are. It's that sort of intensity relationship. So many great bad guys and good guys have had this throughout the ages. If you think of Spider-Man, you probably think of Venom. If you think of Batman, you probably think of Joker. It's that sort of team up that you expect to see. And in here particularly, you get some, they're obviously gonna meet up and fight, but there's I would say a couple of interactions where really kind of change the face of the storyline, or what our characters are going to do, or how they react, and it changes their personalities. And I really like the fact that they don't just concentrate on the good guys. In fact, I would say at times it's very hard to know who are the good guys and the bad guys, because throughout the 6 episodes you are entertained with these good guys doing some things that are questionable, and these bad guys doing things that are questionable but also good, and it feels like the lines are blurred. So that's really great when it comes to storytelling. It's to make it more entertaining, you don't just have black and white bad guys, you don't just have black and white good guys. You make them relatable, you give them humanities, right? You give them stuff that we can relate to, emotionally engaging characters that are well crafted, and as you follow their storyline, you engage with them, you engage with their plight, regardless of whether they're meant to be the good guy or the bad guy. If you understand why they're doing it, you can get on their side, and I felt like that particularly this series does that really well. The animation I thought was interesting. I feel like I've settled into what it is. It reminds me a bit of CGI animation, anime almost. It feels like a mixture of that. The action is sometimes a little bit clunky, but when it gets to the action set pieces that you have in this, I was really entertained. That's because there aren't that many in this series, and I feel like you work for it because they really deal with the storylines before they get to those action pieces. So when you get there, I enjoyed it. I was on board for it. I was expecting there to be a big set pieces, which they are. You know, they really go for it in the animation, but every shot and punch is much darker than I was expecting it to be. I think it's darker than season 1, but also you feel the weight of it because they've been drawing those characters in, moving you along to that moment. There are also some surprises of characters I wasn't expecting to see. I knew of some things that were coming, but again, without doing spoilers, I think you'll be surprised and really engaged with some of the characters that you possibly weren't expecting. You do get some B in this, but really the concentration is on Megatron and Optimus. We do see Elita doing her thing. I really like the character Elita. She continues to be one of the most interesting characters. There are also side characters that get a lot of, not massive amount, but they get some time of fleshing out and they become more interesting to watch, which I like. I really like the juxtaposition of you don't quite know who are good or bad. Everybody has an end goal and they're willing to do whatever to do it, which I think throws up the, okay, so when do you become the bad guy if you're doing questionable things? There were times when I was watching Optimus going, dude, that's too far, man. And I like that because that just shows a realness to it, that there is no just black and white. Sometimes when you're in war, there are really hard things that you have to do in order to win the day, and they throw that out nicely. So by the time you get to the culmination of the 6th episode where everything is going mental, and it's a crazy episode, you'll be totally on board. I'm of the understanding, I think, now that they should continue to do Transformers this way rather than the films. I think this is a much better way to do it. I think fans, adult fans will really enjoy this series. I think new fans will enjoy that. Maybe watch it. If you're watching with really young kids, there are moments that I thought, whoa, that's pretty dark, man. That might scar you. Kids, like the original Transformers movie, that if you watched like me as a child, probably scarred you and stayed with you emotionally for years after. So even now, when you talk about that original movie, you're like, you remember that moment? That's a man cry film. Yeah, there are moments like that, which I appreciated. They didn't hold back, even though there are moments like they could have made it scarier or made it darker. There's just enough to play on your mind going, damn, is that really what happened? Which I did appreciate. That the score is also fantastic. It really heightens the tone and sets the mood, places you in the zone. So you enjoy everything that is created, everything that is edited well together. It really flows, never really takes you out of it, makes you want to click onto the next episode. So do chat to me in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this series. What is your favorite so far? Did you prefer season 1 or do you prefer this one? How much are you looking forward to season 3? And who's your favorite character? Thanks so much for watching this. I'm going to give this a solid B+. Chat to me in the comments below. Do give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your help with the analytics on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining the Ruby Tuesday. Stay tuned. We've got more coming this week. We've also got the Sabrina, the final part of Sabrina review coming out. So I hope you enjoy that. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.